Hey yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Alauna, and today I decided to practice outside. For today's morning movement, we're going to focus on the upper back and shoulder area. And before we get started, we do have a few guest stars. This is my grandma's dog, Sassy, and the other dog that appears later is Chloe. For today's practice, you will need a yoga strap or a belt or a long scarf, anything of the sorts, but this isn't optional, so make sure that you have it handy before we begin our practice. We will start by coming into a comfortable seat and connecting our movement to our breath and focus on relaxing the shoulders. So on your next inhale, raise your shoulders up to your ears. Then exhale, sigh it out, release your shoulders back down. Inhale up, exhale to release. Continue doing this, focusing on completely releasing the tension in your shoulders with every exhale. On your next inhale, let's transition to hands and knees. Then sit your sits bones back onto your heels, walk your hands behind you towards your feet, and release your forehead down onto the mat for a narrow-legged child's pose. Inhale deeply to expand your torso onto your thighs, and exhale completely, releasing all of the tension. With every exhale, visualize any tension just falling off of your upper back and shoulders and neck down onto the mat in front of your forehead. On your next inhale, slowly lift your forehead up off of the mat, interlacing your hands in front of you and inhaling to reach your arms up overhead, slight back bend, and exhale to round forward. Inhale, arms up and back. Exhale, arms down and forward. Inhale up and exhale down. In this seated version of cat and cow pose, be sure to focus mainly on making this movement with your upper back and leaving your lower back in place. On your next exhale, go ahead and release and grab onto your yoga strap, your belt, your scarf, whatever you had, and place it in your right hand. Then reach your right arm up and overhead, bending into the elbow, dropping the strap back behind you, then reaching your left arm back and around to grab onto the strap as well. Be sure to pull your elbows back behind you, pulling your shoulder blades together, and really firmly grasping the strap. The point of the strap here is to create more resistance and allow you to stretch a little bit further than you would just by putting your arms back behind you. Slowly release the grip of your strap, bring it around back to the front, and switch hands. So place the strap in your left hand, bring it up and overhead, bending into the elbow, and then reach your right arm back behind you to grab onto the other end. Again, pulling your elbows back, your shoulder blades together, pressing your heart forward, and breathing into the sensation. Slowly release the grip on your strap. And you can set your strap off to the side. We're done with it for class today. And come back onto your knees, kind of like we're going back into a narrow-legged child's pose, but this time wrap your hands around your heels and pull your tailbone up and place your forehead on the mat. Using the grip on your heels to create resistance and stretch into your shoulders and upper back. Again, allowing the tension to just fall off of your upper back and shoulders and onto the mat in front of you. Slowly rise back up and place your hands out in front of you, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And inhale to reach your chest forward for cow. Exhale to round into cat. Inhale back up, pulling your shoulders away from your ears, tailbone up. And exhale to round, pulling the tailbone down between your knees. On your next inhale, come to a neutral spine and reach your right arm up and overhead before threading it through between your left hand and knee for thread the needle. You can decide where to place your left hand to give you the most stability here. On your next inhale, go ahead and unwind. And keeping your knees under your hips, walk your hands out in front of you for puppy pose. I have 2 puppies joining me for puppy pose. If you want to take this stretch a little bit deeper, you can bend into your elbows and bring your palms to touch behind your head. If you had bent the elbows, go ahead and release your forearms back to the mat and shift your weight forward onto your stomach, pressing up into Sphinx pose. Now, if this is a little bit too intense for you today, you can always take an uplifted cobra variation with your fingertips out at your sides. But if you've chosen to stay in Sphinx pose, be sure to pull your shoulders down and away from your ears. On your next inhale, bring your palms underneath your shoulders to press back up onto your knees and step your right foot up in between your hands. Make sure your knee is aligned over your ankle. Make sure your hips are squared to the front. Then inhale your arms up and overhead, clasping your fingers like we did before, and inhaling to back bend, exhaling forward. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up for a cow motion, exhaling through cat. Again, making sure to focus this movement in the upper back and not collapsing into the lower back. On your next exhale, release your hands, placing your left palm on the mat, reaching your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale to release, and step your right foot back to meet the left. Take a few cat and cows to balance out before moving to the other side. On your next inhale, come to a flat back. Reach your left arm up to the sky and thread it through between your right palm and right knee. Again, placing your right hand wherever helps you find stability. and breathing into the sensation of this pose, or playing with your puppies. On your next inhale, press yourself back up, placing your knees under your hips and walking your hands out in front of you for puppy pose. Again, maybe bending into your elbows and clasping the hands behind the neck. If you bent your elbows, go ahead and release your forearms back to the mat and shift your weight onto your stomach, pressing up into Sphinx pose, pulling your shoulders down and away from your ears, and really pressing into your palms, making sure to not crunch your lower back. Slide your wrists underneath your shoulders and press up onto all fours, and step your left foot in between your hands, aligning your knee over your ankle, your hips to the front of the mat, and inhaling your arms up and overhead, clasping your fingertips, coming into a little back bend, and exhaling forward. Inhale up and back, exhale to round forward. On your next exhale, release your arms, bringing your right palm to the mat, reaching your left fingertips up towards the sky. Release your left hand back down and step your left foot back to meet the right, shifting your ankles off to one side and coming into a seat. Now, if you know that you have bad knees, you can stay in a comfortable seat, but if your knees allow, come into shoelace pose with your right knee crossed over top of your left. And either way, inhale your arms up and overhead, and exhale to cross your right arm over your left, maybe double binding your arms. And really focus on pulling your elbows away from you here to stretch into the upper back and shoulder area. Inhale to unwind your arms, and keeping your right leg crossed over the left, extend your left leg out long, removing the flesh from underneath your sits bones so you can sit up nice and tall. Inhale your arms up and overhead, and exhale to twist to the left, wrapping your left elbow around your right knee, making sure to twist only through the upper back, keeping the hips squared to the front. Exhale to unwind, release both legs out long in front of you before switching to the other side, crossing your left knee on top of your right, and inhaling your arms up and overhead, crossing your left arm over your right. Again, pulling your elbows out and away from you, and stretching into the muscles between the shoulder blades. Inhale to unwind your arms, keeping your left leg crossed over your right, extending your right leg out long, inhaling your arms up and overhead, and exhaling to twist with the upper body, wrapping your right elbow around the left knee. Sitting up nice and tall, keeping the hips squared to the front, and only twisting through the upper back. Exhale to unwind, stretching both legs out long in front of you. This time we're going to be keeping them there, so if you are having trouble staying up straight, you can place something underneath the edge of your sits bones. But otherwise, inhale to sit up tall, and exhale to slowly release your forehead down, rounding through the upper back, making sure to not pull into this stretch, but just allow gravity to do the work for you, and release. Notice the sensations that you're feeling in our final posture, and just notice how it might be different from when we first began our practice. Notice if there's any tension still hanging on, and exhale to release it, allowing it to fall off of your shoulders and onto the floor in front of you. You don't need it. Continue to inhale fully and exhale into this relaxation, enjoying these last few moments of our practice. If your mind begins to wander to other thoughts, just bring it back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. Begin to press into your fingertips to slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time, and then lower down onto your back, coming into Shavasana, spreading your feet wide, allowing your palms to rest at your sides, and again, just relaxing into your breath, not thinking about what's coming next, but just enjoying these last few moments of silence and stillness. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope this leaves you feeling relaxed and able to go about the rest of your day in a stress-free way. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It would really help me out. and let me know down in the comments below what you would like to see next. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.